Met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes like Coca-Cola, C-O-L-A Cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and in a dark brown voice she said Lola, L-O-L-A Lola.
I want to show you how to make a very quick dill and mustard seed rice. It's just a very exotic and quick way of fancying up your rice, and it takes an extra 10 seconds to cook. So, heating some oil in a pan, a tiny bit, because it's going to be a base of fried rice. And fried rice is basically, look, that much oil, that's nothing. That's a tiny smearing of oil, whoops. And into that, we're going to drop our mustard seeds, because that's how we create fried rice. We crackle our seeds in the bottom of the pan, then we add the washed rice grain into it, toss it into that perfumed oil, and then cook it as we would normal rice. So, we start with 2 teaspoons of mustard seeds, perhaps a teaspoon and a half. I'm going to cook enough rice for about 6 people. 1 cup royal wedding mug of rice is enough for 4 people, believe it or not. So I've done a cup and a half, and then I'm going to double it in water. So, a cup and a half of rice, 3 cups of water. So that's what I'm going to do. It's as simple as that. I've crackled my seeds. They are crackling, and I want to show you a new spice. Look at these. Whoops. These are called black cardamom pods. They are the ripe, dry cardamom pods that you know in the green form. Now, I was smelling these for a while and trying to describe it in words. And the word that came to my mind, and I shouldn't really use it on a video, is medicinal. Very, very, very highly perfumed. They smell medicinal in their raw form, like this, but you only need 2 in a pan. They bring fried rice alive when they go into the oil and they cook with the rice. They become woody and they just add to the depth of the taste of rice. So they're not overwhelmingly perfumed, but they really add to the overall roundness of the flavour. They're very, very magical. Mustard seeds split a lot when you heat them, so just be careful. You could do with a splatter guard here. But the crackle, that will do for me. I'm going to go in with my cup and a half of rice now and just toss it into that perfumed oil. Just so that the grains are partially coated, or at least get to interact a little bit with that oil, because what it does is the oil protects the grains and keeps them a little bit more separate as they boil, and it gives fried rice a slightly different, nuttier texture. So that's gone in, tossed in with the oil. Now I'm going to put my dill in. Just a good bit of chopped dill, whatever you happen to have and you can bother chopping. That's quite a bit. Throw it in. Now listen, you may well think, are you there? You may well think that dill is a very Western herb and what is it doing in an English dish, but it's widely used in India and it's known as shua shag. Shua is its name and shag means spinach or greenery. So it is something that's used, and we would use it with potatoes in potato curry, for instance. Very, very simple, very quick. That's another dish I'll do for you. So I've stirred the shua shag in, and now for the water. So it was a cup and a half, wasn't it? So it's going to be, oops, just shy of 3 cups of water. 1, 2, just shy of 3. That will do. Now, if you want your rice yellow, as simple as that, just so that it looks a little bit more clever, you would add a little teaspoon of turmeric to this. It doesn't add a heck of a lot to the flavour, but it just makes your friends think they're sitting in a takeaway when they come round for dinner. But I quite like this green emerald finish that this rice will have. So, I've done a video on how to boil rice, how to make perfect rice, and I use the absorption method. It is dead simple. You use the 1:2 ratio, put it to boil, and as soon as it's almost dry, even if you're confused about how dry it is, Switch the heat off, put the lid on and just leave it for 10 minutes and it will cook itself. You can't go wrong. Just don't overcook it. Okay, look at this. Can you see? It's still quite wet, and this is the point at which you may start panicking, thinking, oh my gosh, is this too early? Is it too late? Do I switch it off? Do I not? Do you know what? You can't go wrong. I can't be bothered watching it. I'm going to go and do something else. So what I do, I switch it off, I put the lid on, I come back to it in 10 minutes and it will cook itself. So don't panic trying to gauge whether it's wet or dry enough. Just as soon as you feel you've got something better to do than watch a boiling pan, put the lid on, switch it off, and rest assured it will do the right thing. Okay, we'll come back and have a look at the finished product. Okay, the rice has been sitting for 10 minutes with the lid on. Come and have a look. It's completely cooked itself. And you can see that the rice grains, when they start to stand to attention, they're done. And can you see how separate that is and light? You just can't go wrong with it if you leave it to its own devices and don't over-meddle like I am doing now. But there you are, dill rice with mustard seeds. You could make it with cumin seeds. You could make it with a mixture of cumin and mustard seeds. So this is where you can be the artist with the rice. Okay.